Tottenham Hotspur want to improve their attacking line for the upcoming season, and in the January transfer market, we did do some attacking business, but this is talking about the striking position for the summer business. I'm joined by both my co-hosts, Josh and Matt. How are you both doing on today's fine day, you could say? How are you doing? Doing all right?
Well, feeling a bit more recovered after the weekend now. I
I'm
think I'm
sure you
over it,
are.
finally.
I'd say when Arsenal lost 2-0, I was just like,
Yeah.
It
Is
makes it
anyone
feel
else
a
just
little bit
hate
better.
watching every game of theirs now? Like, properly, intensely hate watching?
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping they lose every single game. I'll be honest. But look, lads, we've got we've got a wicked video coming up. It's all about strikers. And what better way to do it than we got all three of the Spurs live hosts here. Now let's start off with Josh. In terms of a striker, what type of striker would you want to see? What types of attributes would you want to see from a striker coming in the summer?
I mean, we've got to start thinking about the heir to the throne, the heir to the Sonny throne now, I think,
Yeah.
because Son's obviously, I think he's probably got 1 or 2 more years left up front. I don't know if you lot agree. Like, I think he's got that in his legs in terms of being a starter, and that will take him to like 34.
Hmm.
And I'd say that's around when he probably gets phased out permanently out of the starting lineup. It's not Richarlison. I think we can all agree he's just not consistent enough. We've seen bursts of quality, but he doesn't bring enough, and I'm not sure Ange quite fancies him as much as we would have hoped. And I think it's time to. It's a position that isn't going to be the focus this summer, I don't think, but like it's the next summer. I think that's going to end up being our big focus. And because the striker market, I don't know about you lads, but there's not really many out and out strikers anymore. I'd say the game now is filled with like inside forwards or just
Yeah.
versatile. You can just group them in attackers generally. It's frontline players that you could, like Julian Alvarez, perfect example. The bloke can play left wing, right wing, striker, and the number 10. Like traditionally, he could play all of them. So I think they're the sorts of players that Ange is going to be wanting to look at going forward. Is someone that's versatile, can do a bit of everything, but also it's just a pressing machine. But I think we need that clinical edge as well. So I
Yeah.
want someone that's versatile, can press, and we need to try and get someone that gets even close to replicating Son's finishing, because the guy is one of the best finishers of our generation. His XG numbers are incredible. I've never seen anything like his XG numbers. I think it goes underrated how good a finisher that man is and how many games we've scraped by because of how good a finisher he is, despite recent
100%.
form.
100%. But what type of striker would you be looking for in the summer? Is it a striker that is more just in the box, ready to like a Haaland type of finisher, or would you be looking for like a Harry Kane type of player who drops deep, collects the ball, go forward?
I don't really want someone that can drop deep. I mean, it's fine if they can. That's a bonus, but we don't need it. I
Hmm.
think we have got creativity in the middle, despite the form of our midfield. And hopefully the addition of a 6 means we can get someone a bit more creative in that box-to-box role, or Saar just
100%.
continues to improve. But I do want someone that is a pure finisher and like poacher in the box, because those balls that come across the box, someone's got to start flinging themselves at them, because it can't just be the opposite winger.
Yeah.
It can't just be Brennan finishing Werner's or Werner trying to get on the end of Brennan's crosses. We've got to get someone that is going to throw themselves at every single cross that comes across that box, because it's
Very
free
true.
goals. It's so many free goals that we miss.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. Matt, coming to the summer transfer window, I know you said multiple times where you believe that Son does or can play as a striker. But in a hypothetical world where you do need to sign out a striker, I mean, we've got a lot of strikers that we're behind the scenes we already talked about. What is there a striker in the market right now that sticks out to you that you're like Tottenham Hotspur should go for him in the summer, or are you like Josh where you're saying to yourself maybe that's not the focus point this summer, maybe next summer?
I don't disagree that we need a striker. I think we do need a striker.
Okay.
I don't disagree. As much as I think Sonny should be playing through the middle, and that's good. Like, look at all the top teams. every single top team has at least 2 or 3 strikers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to letting Richarlison go to Saudi in the summer.
Hmm.
If they can table a decent bid of 40 or 50 million, I'll take it.
Yeah.
They might even, in all honesty, they might even table a huge bid because he's Brazil's striker.
Hmm.
And as Brazil's striker, whether he's been amazing in the Prem or not, as Brazil's striker, he's going to command a decent fee. Like, that's just the nature of
Yeah.
it. So I wouldn't be opposed to Richarlison going, us getting a new striker in. I think realistically, the two strikers that the two strikers I'd be happiest with would be Isak or Watkins.
Okay. Okay. So so you're saying Watkins though? Do you not think Villa are on the trajectory, just going up, and he wouldn't want to leave Villa to join Tottenham?
Well, no, we're talking about what we want. We're not talking about
Yeah.
Aren't
what's
they in a position
happening.
though where they might actually have to sell soon?
Yeah,
Who? Villa?
Villa.
Villa.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they're very close to FFP lines at the minute.
I didn't know that. Oh, it could, because there's another player on this list that we were talking about earlier, and we'll bring him up now. Someone
And
like Alexander Isak.
yeah, also you've got to bear in mind, look, we haven't won anything for centuries or whatever,
Yeah.
but I believe that we are a team on the up and we can get better. I think Villa are, like, I don't want to do Villa a disservice, but I feel like
Yeah.
Villa are at their kind of top level at the moment.
They're where we were a few years ago. I think I've seen so many videos on FFP recently and people complaining that it's to protect the top six and that these middling clubs are having to, like Newcastle and Villa, to get to that
Yeah.
top level. How can they get there if they have to keep selling their best players? And it's not fair. And I get that some of the rules aren't fair. Actually, some of them really aren't, and they are too stringent. But people forget that Spurs have had to sell their best players for the best part of the last decade, including this summer. It's
Hmm.
not like we've just been able to build with no setbacks. We
Yeah.
lost Bale, we lost Modric, we lost Berbatov, we lost Carrick. We've consistently had to lose our best players and
It
then
goes
take
as far
risks on
back
those
as
poor
losing
investments to build.
It goes as far back as losing Sol Campbell.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's Spurs have played by those rules themselves. So I think we as a club are probably the only ones in the top six. Maybe you could argue like Liverpool or maybe Arsenal as well. They had to sell quite a lot, but that was because of their stadium, that really understands the pain of having to consistently
I,
sell your best. But it
Yeah.
will get better eventually, but it is painful.
With Arsenal, I disagree. Like, yes, they have sold their players, but then they've consistently replaced them with high profile signings.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, but I'm talking back when they went for that period of they lost Clichy and Nasri and Song and Van Persie and
That's
whatnot.
something that in my opinion, you need to kind of credit Daniel Levy about. I know myself, I'm going to say a bit about myself. Don't want to speak about anyone else, but I give Levy a lot of stick for the way he runs Tottenham, um, in terms of transfers. But I think when credit's due, you got to give a pat on the back to Levy, because in terms of, we put a new stadium, we have a new ground, we have new training facilities, and all that is within FFP laws and all, and all that. Plus, he's been able to sell players and yet still have Tottenham on a up. So look, you can't disagree with what Levy's done, but maybe in a transfer window aspect, yeah, you can. But look, lads,
Yeah,
let's talk about some
look,
players here.
I think from
Yeah,
from a business perspective, I respect Levy, and I think he's done
yeah.
well by the club. From an ambition point of view, that's where I question him.
Yes. There's from an ambition point of view, it's a completely different story, and I agree with you there. I think many fans as well would agree with you. But look, let's talk about the first player, and I want to talk about Alexander Isak. Now, this is an interesting player because there's two perspectives in this. You are Us as Tottenham fans, we could be like, you know what, Tottenham are a bigger club than Newcastle in terms of where we are right now. Isak come join us. We've got an empty spot in that striking position. We need you to be there. Come join us now. On a different point of view, from a Alexander Isak point of view, you could be like, okay, well, we just got new owners now in Newcastle. We are on the rise. Last season, we finished in a very, very high position in the Premier
You
League.
say they're on the rise. Like, if anything, they've taken a step back this year.
I would say they were ahead of schedule last season. That's why I'm saying they're on a rise. But look, lads, Matt, I'll come to you first. Alexander Isak, would you take him? Would you not take him, and why?
I'd take Isak. I like him. And like when we look at some of the other players on the list, Gyökeres, Vlahović,
Yeah,
like look at Soldado. He was banging goals in abroad, came to the Premier League, and he just stuttered.
flop. Yeah,
And that's what I worry about happening with someone like Gyökeres, or do you know what I mean? Like, which is why I'm far more of the opinion of wanting Isak or Watkins, because they're proven Prem strikers.
yeah.
I think Isak's had a good year this year. Watkins has also had a good year this year. It's difficult. Are they breakout years?
I mean, mate, I actually didn't realise Isak's numbers. He's got 17 goals in 24 Prem games.
Oh yeah, he's got very good
17
numbers.
in 24. And he's
But
got 2 in 4 FA
has-
Cups and 1 in the Champions League. That's
Okay.
outrageous.
But has he done this before?
Not to this level. Well, he was playing it last year, but the only problem is he's only played 61% of possible minutes this year. He's been injured for a
Alexander
third of the
Isak.
season. Yeah. He's had consistent injury problems since he joined Newcastle.
Yeah, so I think I'd prefer Watkins.
Okay, well we'll get to Watkins in a second. So
I'm not gonna lie,
from what we understand, Matt, you would take Alexander Isak. And sorry, final question, Matt. How much would you say is a reasonable price for Isak?
I really don't know.
In nowadays as well, it's it probably is a decent amount, like
But
70.
this is the point. I really don't know. Like, I'd say something like 40, but then I'm like, well,
No way.
Nah, definitely not.
Well,
He
I
wouldn't
would
even
say
get his
around.
boot for that,
well,
I don't think, at the
Yeah.
minute.
well, exactly. One, I'm old.
Look,
And
I'd say a solid 70 is respectable for Isak nowadays. But look, Josh, what are your thoughts on Alexander Isak as a striker itself? And again, same question: would you not take him? And how would he improve Tottenham?
I think unless you support Man City, there's not a fan in the Premier League that should be saying that they wouldn't take Isak, because ability-wise, I have no doubts that he is probably the second best striker in the league behind Erling Haaland. The guy is unbelievable on the ball. Genuinely
what
silk.
about Son?
Nah, not
I
this
think
season.
he's been better than Son this season.
Hmm.
He has been better than Son this, and we all saw it on the weekend, lads. What he did to Mickey van der Ven, who's been one of the best centre backs in world football this year, it was disgusting. He absolutely tore his life apart in that 90 minutes, and it's not the first time he's done it to players, and it won't be the last. I have no doubts that this guy is going to go on to be probably one of the best strikers in world football. But the caveat to that is, can he stay fit? And, you know, at Tottenham, we've had enough problems with injuries this year, but I think that's been a Prem problem in general.
Yeah.
Ultimately, though, I think depending on how badly Newcastle need this money, they're going to be asking for 80 to 100.
What are they like in FFP? Anyone know? In
Oh, they're on
Newcastle.
the line. They cannot spend barely anything. They have to
So
sell one of
if
Isak or Bruno
their
G.
owners just come in, but shouldn't an owner have an effect on the FFP? Wouldn't the
No,
owners?
because FFP is it's the money that the club's bringing in rather than what the owners are bringing in. The owners' money is irrelevant. What matters for FFP spend is what the club generates.
Right.
You know, so like match revenue,
Yeah,
It's
so
merchandise,
like the
like,
Champions League. They're
sponsorships.
good.
so like you get an owner worth 50 billion come in. All right, he's
Yeah.
got loads of money. He can chuck it
Doesn't
at it.
Yeah.
matter.
But if the club isn't making the money, then he
Can't
can't
spend it.
spend it.
because of
Um,
sustainability reasons,
and
so
then,
clubs don't go out of business.
but then that's where some of the questions have come from historically, because they've basically been saying that the owners have been investing in the club, and they class it as revenue when it's just owners' money,
Right.
and that's where
And
the
yeah,
question
and
comes
Newcastle are
about.
having problems with sponsorship, so that they can't get sponsored by certain companies because they have affiliations with the PIF
And
who
also,
own
anyway,
them.
I'm pretty sure they got kicked out of their sponsor this season because it was a betting. No, I'm pretty
They
sure
had
it
to
was
remove.
them.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. They had to. They can't have it
Mm.
on the front.
But
It has
Josh,
to be on the side.
what are your thoughts on Isak in general?
Basically, they wouldn't be selling him if they didn't
Yeah.
have to, but I do think they will, and I would take him. But I also think Arsenal want him, and I think Arsenal are probably going to get him if they want him, because I hate to say it, but there's probably not a better project in the Prem right now outside of Man City than Arsenal's.
Hmm.
It has to be said. They're on their trajectory really is just going up. I mean, they're still going to bottle their second league title in a row, which is hilarious, but their
Yeah.
project is still great. And if you're Isak and you're looking at Spurs and you're looking at Arsenal, sadly, I think they're both really great projects, but he's probably picking Arsenal.
Well, it's not just
I'd say at
that.
the minute.
I think Arsenal will pay more money than Tottenham.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That as well.
The big sticking point is that I do think he's going to be 80 to 100, and we're not going to pay that. I think we'd stop at 60, 65, and Arsenal will just pay it.
That it's fair enough because there are other players here on the list that we're gonna bring about now that it's around the 70 mil, I'd say. And by the way, transfer market does agree and say it's 70 mil. But look, Victor Gyökeres, who plays at Sporting, has had a very good season. He's banging goals, great assists. He's he's a big striker, if I could say like that. He's a big striker, um, who likes to get involved. You know, drop deep a little bit, collect the ball, go forward. He's good in the air, and Matt Victor Gyökeres. Now, I don't know if people know too much about him, but would you take Gyökeres from Sporting to Tottenham?
Um, Again, this is the problem. He's Look, how many times have we seen strikers do well overseas and come to the Premier League and struggle?
Okay.
So, unfortunately, there's absolutely no way of knowing whether he's going to come and be a success or come and be a flop. Like, it could easily be either or. Like, there's just no way of knowing.
It's why we wanted so much for Kane. There's nothing that's more expensive than a guarantee, which is why Isak and Watkins are going to be so expensive as well. His guaranteed Prem goals, not just goals. Foreign goals are completely different to an
Yeah.
extent. It depends on how many he scored. But Gyökeres is scoring at a rate. He's got 32 goal contributions in 27. That's outrageous. And he's got more than that. I think he's got 7 in Europa. Yeah, 3 and 3, 9. Jesus.
He's got. I'll tell you exactly. He's got 22.
13,
He's
7.
got. He's got 32
52
goals and
goal
assists in
contributions.
27 match. Yeah, mental.
Yeah, 52 goal contributions for the season already. It's outrageous. But I mean, at that rate of scoring, you'd probably say it's past the anomaly of like we had with Soldado or whatnot. Where it's
And
just a good
yeah,
season. He's having
and
a great
also what you
season.
can add there is that he is worth around just again according to transfer market around the 55 to 60 mil, which is which you can look in two different perspectives. One is, you know what, he's a talented striker, which is on a cheap 60 mil, 55, 60 mil. But then you can look at it in a different angle where be like, well, you know what, you can spend an extra 10, 15 mil and get a guaranteed Premier League striker, Alexander Isak. But two
His
different
release
types of
clause is
perspectives.
100.
Yeah, but I'm saying according to transfer market, that's what you could look at.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, his release clause is 100. I don't think you could get him for anything less than 70
His
at
release
the
clause
minute,
is
though.
100. You saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But is that euros?
yeah.
Yes.
100 million euros on Transfermarkt.
So that's about £80 million.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically the same money we sold Kane for.
Well, look. We've now looked at two different strikers. One's in the Prem, one's in Sporting. I want to go back to a previous contender for a Harry Kane striker replacement that we were looking at a couple seasons ago before he joined Juventus, and that is Dušan Vlahović. Matt, Dušan Vlahović. He's a striker, like I said before, and we've been linked with multiple times. Is this a striker you'd be interested in, or not really?
I think the ship sailed with him now.
Mm.
Like a few seasons ago, we wanted him. We were like, yeah. But then I don't feel in the last year or so he hasn't been as good as he was. Like he's not bad, but
15
also
goals and 4 assists in 27 matches. It's not bad.
it's not bad. But like the levels that we want to get to, we need brilliant.
I think
Yeah.
for that money, you want a guarantee, or you want a younger player than Vlahovic with
Yeah.
a possible higher ceiling.
I mean,
24
Vlahovic.
years old.
Yeah, I just think I would probably rather spend that money on, if we're going to go for that age bracket, an Isak, or like Matt says, like a try and get a Watkins or something like that, or go just much younger and goes for that 18 to 19 age bracket.
Yeah.
Well, we've still got Alejo Veliz.
Who's not playing that loan move? I don't know if anyone's seen that
I'll,
loan move.
I'll,
Has been a
I'll I'll be
complete
honest
flop.
with you. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna say this now about Veliz. I think it's a write-off. Genuinely, I think it's a write-off because I've seen when he doesn't play for Sevilla, but when he played for Sevilla in a couple games that he did, and when he played for Tottenham for a couple minutes he got, nothing really sparked there. You know, when for me personally, when I see a striker, and that's why I was completely wrong with Carlos Vinicius. Genuinely, I thought he was going to be really really good. But when I look at a striker, and I'm looking at a striker for Tottenham, I'm looking for someone who looks straight at the goal and knows how to utilize players around him to get in front to beat defenders. Um, Aleo Veliz for me is a complete write-off. Someone that age, it's a concern. It is a concern. Why would you be going to Sevilla, getting the number 10 shirt, not playing a single game? It's,
I just think Spurs need to sort out their loan moves, because whoever's in charge of doing Spurs' loan moves, I don't think we've had a proper successful loan since Oliver skipped to Norwich. Because Dane's been recalled back and now he's not even playing. I
yeah.
think the
Troy,
Plymouth
what's Troy
boys
doing?
are
What's
playing
Troy doing?
okay. Troy's just been sent off in his
Oh
last
yeah,
game.
apparently it was a
So
pathetic one. Did
he
you
did
see it?
score, but yeah, he got sent off. And I just think the Troy Parrott ship sailed a long time ago for me. I think
Agree.
if he was going to break into the team, he would have done it by now.
Ashley
I think
Phillips,
he's just a
what were your
decent
thoughts?
player. Phillips is playing well. That's what I was saying. The Plymouth Argyle boys, Phillips and Devine. I think Phillips is having a sort of up and down time of it, but he's playing generally okay. And I
Hmm.
think Devine is the same. He's not. I don't know if he's starting anymore for Plymouth, but they're in crunch time of the season, so I imagine you
Yeah,
know a young player is going to fall out of favour a little bit during the times where they just need to grind out a result. But whoever's in charge of Spurs' loans need to figure it out, because the last couple striker loan moves, Dane's moves and Veli's moves, have been complete failures, and they've clearly picked the wrong projects or the wrong
yeah.
coaches for those players.
Hell, I think we can go further to say, Tanganga. I think Tanganga's long gone.
That doesn't play ever. You know,
Rodon.
Rodon's played. I think that's been the only one that's been okay. I don't
I
even know if
thought
Jed Spence plays at the minute.
Rodon's been doing well, hasn't he?
I think they probably will end up buying Joe Roden Leeds, whether they go up or not. I think
Do you
they're going
see
to
my
buy him.
point though? Do you see my point? But I'm sorry. Do you see Josh's point where, in terms of Rodon, yeah, sure he's been playing well, but look at him. We ain't signing him. We really aren't signing him. And you could say that we are in need for another centre back to cover. We've got Dragusin who's good. Yeah, fine, you can come in. We need another centre back. Um,
We do.
but look, lads, let's move on to another striker. Um, going back to the Premier League. Let's go to. I want to save. Um, let's go. No. Let's go Santiago Jimenez. Um, he has been the talk of the show for the past. month, I would say, in regards to Tottenham. Multiple Premier League teams are interested in Santiago Jimenez. He's been outstanding for Feyenoord this season. Now, Josh, I'll come to you first with this one. Santiago Jimenez to Tottenham Hotspur. I think we all could say yes to this. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I do like him. His
Yeah.
record's good and his numbers are good. They're decent throughout both Europe and the Dutch league. But again, it's the Eredivisie, and it worries me buying from the Eredivisie because the last Eredivisie striker we bought was Victor Janssen, and he was the top goal scorer in the Dutch league, and he came, and I don't even think
24
he
goals though
got
this
past
season.
five. Yeah, which is great. And he is 22, so he's a bit younger than the other options we've looked at, which is
It's the
nice.
same as Gyökeres. Like you just have no idea whether he's going to work or not because he's coming from a foreign league.
Ultimately you don't know until you get it. Generally, those sorts of strikers, they end up going to a mid-table Prem club, and if they do well for a season there and it translates over, then they get straight away their bigger move, which I think most clubs are willing to dish out the extra sort of 15 to 20 million to be sure, because the hardest thing to get for a striker right now is a guarantee. I think the striker market is actually pretty poor in the world, just in world football at the minute. You can't say there's a lot going around, which is why we ended up getting so much money for a 30-year-old Kane from Bayern, because there's just
Yeah.
no such thing as a guaranteed goal in world football at the minute.
Well, Kane's guaranteed.
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's like, that's why I would prefer an Isak or a Watkins if we're going to spend that sort of money, because at the minute, they're the only strikers I can think of that might be available that are going to guarantee Spurs goals. I
Mhm.
can't think of many other strikers in world football that I'm confident that could come in and play the system that we want to play and also get us through the tough patches and get the goals that we need. Because ultimately, when Sonny declines, that's our top goal scorer gone. And those goals are going to need to be replaced. And he can't keep taking the weight of the club on his back when it comes to goal scoring.
In terms of Son, let's talk about Son for a second. Are we talking about strikers to replace Son, or are we talking about strikers to play the striking position and allow Son to go to the left? Because
Stop trying to put Son on the left.
I'm
Yeah.
desperate
Stop
to
putting him
put
back on the
Son.
wing.
I'm
No.
desperate to put him on the left. I'm
Josh,
desperate to
just
put him on the
stop
No.
left.
it. Stop doing it.
He
Look,
He's
can't
lads,
do it anymore.
He's
lads,
so
lads,
much better
lads.
through the middle. Stop trying to put him on the left.
You know, 1 second. Why is Son better through the middle? Why?
Because
Because he can't take on a man one-on-one anymore.
He can't
But he's the
control a
best
ball
finisher
and
in the
hold up.
Prem.
He can't hold up defenders. He
None of
genuinely
our
can't hold up.
strikers can. None
Okay.
of them can. So what's
Vlahović
the
can.
difference?
Vlahović can. Solanke can. Ollie Watkins can. Alexander Isak can. All them lot can.
Okay, and none of them are our striker. So what's the
I'm
point?
saying. So the point is that if we get a striker in the summer, put him at striker and move Son to left, allow
No.
Son. Son's best threat is his finesse shots. Is it not? What do you think about Son?
It's
Where,
just his finishing. I don't care what shot he's having. It's just his finishing. Get that
so why
man
so
in the
why so why
box
has he
and
not
get him
been
on the
shooting?
ball.
What so what against what's he called? Against who did we just play now? Um
Newcastle.
Against Newcastle. Why did he not score? He had multiple times
No
to
one
score.
scored.
He had
We were
multiple times to
awful.
score. He was inside the box. Have you seen no touches in
Yeah, but
we have
we just had a very bad game. That's
Yeah.
it.
and the previous
It was
game.
that bad that I'm not even going to bother going into it, because it was that bad and an anomaly of a game that,
I don't
quite
want to talk
frankly,
about
every
it.
player was
I don't want to talk
disgraceful.
about it.
Okay,
Okay.
last
The point
last
is,
question though.
stop
Last
putting
question
Son
though.
on the wing.
Has Son been better through the middle this season, or
Yes.
since he's been through
Yes,
the middle than on the
Yes.
way better through the
Very
middle.
clearly.
Way better.
Very, very
All right.
clearly.
I harshly disagree with this, but you know what? We've been through this. Dominic Solanke, lads.
Run a
Dominic
poll. Run a
Solanke.
poll. I
I
want you
will.
to run a poll on
I
social
will
media.
run a poll. I will run a poll. I will run a poll about Heung-Min-Son
On a
and
poll.
whoever and wait, and whoever wins, you just have to shut up about it. Like It is what it is. It is what it is. The winner just wins.
I want an apology. I don't want you to.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah, you know,
a
yes.
formal apology on video.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I want a formal apology from you guys if I win about this. Yeah? Do we agree? Do we agree? The winner
I'm
the
that
winner
confident. I agree. I
Yeah.
honestly, I can't believe you think he's been better on the wing.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. The winner
Okay.
will receive a formal apology.
100%.
And
100%.
and Josh and I look forward to receiving it.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely
you
no
lads
way you win
wait.
that
You
goal.
lads wait. I'm putting this on Instagram right now and you can track it as well. Heung-Min-Son. What should I write? What should the thing be?
Is Son
Min
better through the middle or on the left?
Okay, is Son better through the middle or
Mate, the bloke is going to be
on the
32. He's already technically 32. He just went a year back because of the Korean calendar change. Like, he is going to be 33 next season. You cannot put a 33-year-old on the wing in an Ange system. That's illegal. You'll kill him. You
Is
can't
Son
do that to
better
him.
through the middle or on the left? Okay, we'll see how it is. And remember what Josh, you're the one who said it. Formal apology, yeah. I'm waiting for a
What a
video
formal
from you
apology.
guys.
Would you put Ronaldo back on the wing? Would you do that to him?
Mate, I mean,
Absolutely not.
mate, he would cook in an Ange system. I'll be honest, he would cook. But look, Dominic Solanke, Premier League striker who again we have been linked with. Again, all of these strikers we've been linked with. A You could say he has a shout to be in that England squad. Ahead of the World Cup, or is it the Euros coming up? What is it?
Euros.
Euros.
You're
Yeah. What you lads saying regarding Dominic Solanke? I feel like it's a very like a harsh debate regarding him. What are you guys saying? Should we sign him? Should we not go for him?
No.
No.
And I like Dom Solanke as well. I actually really rate Dom Solanke, but I just think, again, Bournemouth are going to overcharge because he's the only reason that they're... No, he's not the only reason. I actually really like their coach, and I actually think I said at the beginning of the season they were going to be good, and they have come good. But he is a big part of that, and I think at that level of the Prem, there's not many sort of strikers better than Dom Solanke at that level at the minute, and he brings so much to them. His hold-up play is fantastic. He's
Yeah.
great in the box. He can take it down outside of the box, link up with the wingers. He can head. He can hit it with both feet. He's an excellent all-rounder. But I think, again, he's going to come at such a high price. And obviously you get English tax with Dom Solanke as well. I think you Spurs probably... He's just not a Spurs sign. Like, we could probably... If we're going to spend that money, we'll go for someone younger or with maybe a bit of a higher ceiling than Solanke. Because this is the first season that he's been really, really consistent, I'd say. I'd say he was good last year, but I'd say this is Dom Solanke's breakout season. So I think you'd need to see at least one more season of this before the big clubs really think about, picking him up.
Matt, Dominic Solanke, 27 years old. He's going to be 27 years old. Is he worth it to go?
No. I like Solanke.
Yeah.
And as you all know, Bournemouth is my second team, so I'd quite like him to stay there.
Oh, you put Bournemouth ahead of Tottenham. All right, okay.
No, I said they're my second team.
Okay. I'm just saying, go
on. But also, I sort of believe that Solanke...
Yeah.
Look, whether I'm right or wrong... Oh my God.
Are you looking at it now, Matt?
There's
Matt,
no way that left
Matt,
wing
what are
is
you
winning.
looking at? What are you looking at, Matt?
There's no way left wing is winning.
60%.
What sort of idiot has been voting on this?
Okay, so well, in your defense, guys, it's not been a lot of votes. It's been 15 votes. 9 votes for left wing and 6 votes for striker. I'm telling you, lads, I'm waiting for that formal apology, lads. I'm cooking.
No, I'm telling you as well, if we were live right now and not just recorded, I'm telling you we could have swayed the vote. Our ball knowledge is respected amongst our community, honestly.
I I'm going to be honest. I'm starting to feel a little despondent about our average viewer. Because
No,
if they hold that,
It's the
opinion,
Instagram fan base, Matt. It's
nah,
different to our
the
live viewers.
oh,
Instagram
okay,
are
fine,
actually the
okay.
OGs. I mean, also the YouTube community are the OGs, but
Okay.
I should have said that. Oops.
All right. Back to Solanke.
Yeah.
Look, it's a difficult one, but we've seen it before. You know, we've seen players be good in mid-table clubs,
Hmm.
and then they've tried to make that move to the next level, and they've gone to your Uniteds, Arsenals, Liverpools, and they've just not performed as well.
Hmm.
And I feel like that is something that could potentially happen with Solanke.
Hmm.
Like, it
Right.
might be that mid-table Bournemouth is his ceiling, and he shouldn't strive for anything more because that might be his ceiling.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I like him. I like him at Bournemouth. He's good, but I no like
It's completely different at
Isak
Spurs.
or Watkins are my top choices.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly the player we're going to get to, and I know this is slightly off topic what I'm about to say, but with regards to what Matt just said in terms of a striker who is perfect at that mid-table level, it's similar for me with my opinion in regards to Oliver Skip. I feel like Oliver Skip is a really good Fulham player. No respect, no disrespect to Fulham. I just think he's a
No,
really good
I've said it all
mid-table.
along. Oliver Skip is not good enough for us, but I think he would absolutely thrive in a mid-table prem club.
And he would get a lot of the attention that that he's not getting right now, because I think there is a playing side of him. I think he's good, just not for top six. But Ollie
Yeah,
Watkins, let's start up with Josh. Ollie Watkins, what are your thoughts on him, and how could he improve Tottenham?
I do like him a lot. I mean, in opposing to the reasons that we don't want Dom Solanke, I think Dom Solanke, people assume that when you make that jump from mid to top level, that
Yeah.
because you're playing with better players, they think you're getting better service, you're going to see more of the ball, you're going to have more opportunities and more shots. And to an extent, that is true. But there's also other caveats. You have less space. You got two players on you because you're playing against low blocks constantly. You don't have you're not sitting on the halfway line with the whole space to run in behind to. You're not allowed to do that. You don't have that luxury. And
Hmm.
certain players just can't deal with that. You've got the scrutiny of playing in front of tens of thousands every week. You're on TV every week. That's a big thing people don't realise is that these performances, like Van der Ven's against Newcastle, that happens to certain mid-table players like every other week. There will be one that slips up, but we just don't see it. And you won't see it in the match of the day highlights, and you won't just see how bad a performance can get. That is magnified at a top six club. But
Yeah.
a player like Ollie Watkins, opposing to Solanke, has shown that from Championship with Brentford, from taking that Prem step with Villa, but when they came up, he's gone from bottom half of the table with Villa, mid-table, and now he's sort of in those European spots, and he's consistently showed that he can raise his game every single time. He's versatile. He can play on the wing and through the middle. He's great at hold up. He's great in behind. He's a nuisance. He presses well, great in the air. The
Mate,
only problem I have with Ollie Watkins is his finishing in terms of like it's pretty inconsistent. He does get a lot of goals and assists though, and he can bring others into play, which I really like. But if his finishing was clinical, it wouldn't be a question for me. He'd be in
I,
that same bracket as
I
Isak.
do, I do feel that I really like Ollie Watkins, but I will agree with you. I do think he takes a lot of chances to get his goals.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think if I was to put these strikers in a tier, Isak is S, and Ollie Watkins is an A. Still a great striker, but he's just got to add that one sort of bit of clinical. Like he's just got to be a bit more clinical,
Yeah.
and then he goes into that proper top
His
echelon of strikers.
his finish on the weekend was delightful.
That's what I'm talking about. It's there. It's absolutely there, but it needs to be there. It can't just be there every other week. It
But then
has
Yeah.
to be there every
I
week.
do quite like his self-awareness
Hmm.
because he scored that goal on the weekend. Lovely finish, really good goal. And then in his interview, he said, I'm going to be honest with you, 1 or 2 years ago, I wouldn't have scored that.
Yeah.
So I think he's got the awareness that he's improving, he's getting better. And hopefully, if he can improve that, then he's going to be more clinical, isn't he?
Well, Matt, can I come to you with this question now? We're coming to summer window, summer transfer window. Arsenal, we had when was it? Was it a couple seasons ago? Tottenham and Arsenal had a similar position where they needed a striker. They both went for an English person. Obviously, one got. They both went for a Brazilian. One went for Gabriel Jesus. One went for Richarlison. And whatever, you can have your own opinion on who had the better deal. But again, we're coming to another situation where we both need another striker. Now, Matt, who would you want to get, and who do you think Arsenal will get? Do you understand the question? Like, who would you want to get as a Tottenham fan, but who do you think Tottenham will end up getting?
I'd like Isak,
Yeah.
but as Josh said earlier, he'll probably go to Arsenal.
Would you not think this is also just for you as well? Do you not think Ollie Watkins would go to Arsenal simply because number one, he's an Arsenal fanboy as well, but also because I believe the way Watkins plays is a more of an Arsenal type of player.
No, I think Isak's more Arsenal, and I hate
Okay.
to say it, but he is a bit more. I think all of these strikers that we're talking about, any of them could end up being at Arsenal, Spurs, United. They could be lining up in different shirts next season. Every single one of them.
Yeah,
Let's get that straight,
literally.
because everyone needs strikers at the minute. Really, everyone does.
Mhm.
But like Watkins, for example, the difference between our project and Arsenal's, Watkins is 28. Are we going to buy a 28-year-old when we've got an aging son out the way going out? Probably not. Whereas Arsenal, the argument with them is actually that bit of experience and know-how, it's not as much of a problem for them to buy a 28-year-old as it is us, because we're completely different stages of the project. They're 3 years ahead of us. So them buying a 28-year-old striker, completely fine, because that will do them for 4 years, and they'll probably, I really, really hope not. They'll probably be winning a title in that 4 years stretch, or it's at least possible that they can compete for one. It's probably going to take us another couple of years to even get to that stage.
We were
By
in a
the
very
time
similar
Watkins will be
position, though.
30.
We were in a very, very similar position, if not a better position than Arsenal. Back with Leicester.
Under Poch, and we
Exactly.
didn't take it. But that's
We
what I
didn't
mean.
take
We
it.
should have bought, and Dele Alli came and said it on Monday Night Football. We should have gone out and bought that sort of 27, 28-year-old when we had the chance.
Mhm.
And we didn't, and that's why we didn't get over the line in those seasons. And I think that's the difference between us and Arsenal. They probably would buy a Watkins, who's 28, and I don't think Spurs would do that right now.
Exactly. No,
Yeah,
I'm
Dele said it on Monday. He said we didn't buy that world-class individual.
Yeah.
I think that's a difference between just teams that are on the uprise and teams that are world class right now. I mean, you see, I'm just going to give the best example possible, and that's Real Madrid. They are, for me personally, they are the second best team in the world. And look at their transfer market. If they don't get a world class elite player right now, they get a youngster that will be guaranteed to be elite. And that's something that Tottenham Hotspur need to learn in terms of, all right, we're on the up, but when we get to that position where, 40, 50, 60 mil is okay to spend from our point of view, we need to spend those 60 mil, because that's the only way we're going to improve. And I know we say this every single year, oh, Levy's learned, but I genuinely think that Levy has learned, and Ange now is the right man to take us forward. But look, lads, this has been the amazing video with regards to which striker we need to sign in this transfer window. Once again, Victor Gyökeres, Alexander Isak, Dominic Solanke, Santiago Jimenez, Dušan Vlahović, and Ollie Watkins are all the strikers. If you guys do know of some strikers we should get in the transfer window, let us know in the comment section down below. Also, everyone, if you guys can go check out the Instagram poll to go and see or go vote what your position is in regards to Heung-Min-Son. Should we play him off the left? Should we play him in striker? Just so you guys know, you guys are getting absolutely smoked. 15 votes for striker, 54 votes for left wing, 78% for the left wing. It's the Instagram ball knowledge and hopefully the YouTube ball knowledge as well. Lads,
Sorry, 54 votes for left
That's
wing.
exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys are having a great day.
54.
Make sure to smash that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and we will catch you.
I don't know how big families are in Israel, but is that just your family, mate?
No, it's ridiculous. You can tell they can tell they listen to his content, can't you? It's absolutely outrageous.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you guys in the
That is
next
mental.
video. Come on, you Spurs. Bye-bye.